A couple of weeks ago, I don't remember what exactly happened. I received a download and also an understanding between myself and the Holy Spirit, where I received this download, and straight after I heard, going forward, share everything I tell you. This has been a battle for me because I'd like the kind of discernment where I can tell what to share and what to keep to myself, what is meant for me. But that battle has subsided because when I receive the information, somehow I already know what is meant for me, what is meant to be set aside, and what is meant to be shared. This next download I'm going to share with you is from yesterday morning. I was having an easy morning because I've had my children with me, and I was listening to some YouTube in bed, and I got a rumbling in my left ear. I'm calling it a rumbling because I've felt it before, but I couldn't find a word for it, and I've settled on a rumbling. And so I stopped to acknowledge the rumbling, and I heard, "Stop what you're doing. I want to talk to you." And so I did. And this is what I got. You are overcoming the fire and becoming in the fire. I will fold you and your prayers. I will count their numbers, and calamity will befall them. You are separated. Show them the way. As I was writing this, my natural human feelings came up. There were a number because I was like, oh my God, how am I going to share this? And then there was, it's going down. And then I let it rest because I didn't actually totally understand the words. I could just feel the energy as a preparation. Not a minute later, I received a second download. This one a poem. It goes, her faith was strong, but her hands were weak. She didn't know which way to speak. And the God of understanding is what saved her. She crossed her arms and locked her feet. She stood beside the judgment seat. The prophecy was told about the fire. Have you seen her? Have you seen her? Have you seen her? You will see her. And so that was the second moment where I felt, I want to say vindicated. And as I say vindicated, I'm like trying to figure out what exactly vindicated means, but I'm just going to keep moving. And what I want to share today is these are the scales of justice balancing. That's what's happening right now. When information like that comes in, we're conflicted because we bring it into our awareness, and there's a part of us that wants to, there's a part of me that feels guilty, not guilty, but guilty for being so faithful to God that justice must fall on certain people. That is not my job. Guilty because I benefit from the safety of sitting, lying, sleeping, resting in the hand of the palm of God, in the palm of God's hand. But I'm realizing tonight, this was yesterday morning, and I've had a very busy 2 days, so I haven't had a chance to actually record something and share this. And I also needed more time to let it integrate and really figure out whether I share these words raw or whether I share them with my own. And now that it's settled within me, I'm ready to share my own. And what I want to say here is that this is the nature of the scales of balance. When they are tipped, one goes down, one goes up. This is not your fault. But I want you to take a step back and look at this from a different lens, being the faith that you've held, the faith that has kept you moving forward, your conviction unto yourself, your resilience, knowing that you're moving forward because you know there's something better on the other side. That faith is based on something. And here's the thing is, the reason you do certain things, the reason you live your life with a sense of virtue, the reason you do the right thing, the reason you treat people with love, the reason you choose the higher road, the more loving road as you go, keeping in mind that it's always better to do the right thing. And I don't feel with you, I need to unpack what the right thing means. It only makes sense that when the opposite is done, the right thing happens. That is justice. Justice is not aimed at you. Justice is not aimed at fulfilling any of your needs when it's placed on someone else. You're not on that side of the scale. That is not your worry. That is not your battle. Those were not your actions. You played your actions right. You let God handle it. You surrendered the matter and you left it to God. So leave it to God. And so, when the scales of balance tilt in your favor, they're tilting in your favor. What happens on the other side is not your worry. What happens down there when it's going down, when you know it's going down and you hear it's going down, that is not your worry. You're separated. And this is something that has come up for me a few times because I would like to say I'm a recovering people pleaser. By recovering, I mean I'm doing bloody well at not being a people pleaser, but there are still things left. There are still things left, and so when I'm processing how I'm going to act, I still go through the motions of the people pleaser in me. And so that is what I'd like to shed light on and bring peace to for you. It's just not your worry. It's just not your battle. And to interfere in matters of justice would be to interfere with your own path, because you have been told what to focus on. You did the right thing. There's nothing else that you're meant to do but to do what you are told, what you feel is right. And that's the element I'm adding, is that what is right is not always to be helpful where you can see God is at work. And I believe that's what these words are about. These words are about informing you, because we are moving through a glorious time. This is a time where anything can come in and try to steal this energy of celebration. This is a very conflicted, it feels very contrasted, this tunnel. It feels like it has two sides. An extremely joyous one because you can feel what's coming, but also a very like, uh-oh, for the other side. But that's part of the test, is to not let anything compromise the vibration that is going to see you through to what you know is coming. Don't be distracted. Don't be distracted. Even though that both of those downloads, they have that energy of someone's in trouble. Somebody's in trouble now. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But there's the other side of what's written, which is sneakily snuck in there. In the poem, it snuck in. She crossed her arms and locked her feet. She stood beside the judgment seat. The prophecy was told about the fire. This is to say, there's nothing you need to do. There is nothing you need to do. You just stand there, ready for your judgment, because you know why you did what you did. You have done your part. And then you are overcoming the fire that is however you feel right now, and you can tell that there's something big going on, something is burning, something is leaving. It's painful, but it's promising. That's the contrast. That's what I felt most confusing about this space. And becoming in the fire. This is the phoenix. This is the rise of the phoenix. I will fold you. You are protected. You are protected. And your prayers. I will fold you and your prayers. Fold, I looked it up in the Bible. Apparently the word 10 doesn't actually come up. But to fold is to multiply. I'm going to multiply you and your prayers. Whatever your agreement is with me, I'm about to show you. It's about to go down. I will count their numbers, and calamity will befall them. This is where I got a bit freaked, because nobody wants this. Nobody wants this. But at the same time, I don't want it for myself, and therefore I act a certain way. And so I have earned the side of the scales that I find myself on today. I'm ready for judgment. I know that. And that is why I move so carefully in my instructions with God. That's why I immediately move to what do I need to heal and repair within myself to be able to follow the instructions I receive every day of my life, because I do not want to do wrong by God, because God has made a promise to me and I want to see it come to life. And so we're all the same. We all have the same benefits. We are all promised the same thing. We just don't act the same way. And this last one is titled, From Jesus to His Child. I love you. I love all that you do. I admire you and I praise you. You are light. You bring light. You share it and you back it up. When chips are down, you lift them up. You sail the seas like the seasons sail the earth. When pain is pounding, you soothe it. With your faith of steel, you bring tranquil. When everything says nothing will work, you shut the door and you follow the law. That is why I support you. As the world distorts you, as you curl up in woe, I have seen you restore through the knowing of not knowing. And the pain you don't fear, you hold up the score that I lived for. And so with everything going on, I want to remind you to not forget to celebrate yourself and to stay in the present moment, because that's where everything is happening. Don't miss your show. And I'm singing this because I'm so feeling it, and I want you to feel the energy of it in case you don't follow the link to the actual video. I am really feeling it. Give me one moment in time when I'm racing with destiny. Then in that one moment of time, I will feel eternity. And I'm sharing that because it popped into my mind about 20 minutes before I recorded this. And when I looked up the video on YouTube, it's the Olympics. And this is not the first time the Olympics has come up. It's come up in different scenarios. It's actually that song that I told you about. That song that I told you about that I dreamt. The one when I woke up, I could still hear the song, and so then I recorded the information from the song just so that I wouldn't forget. I realized that music it sounded like a remix of Chariots of Fire. And so I had this little guilty moment, like, okay, so I didn't think up the song. But no, it's not that. It's that there's something to be learned around what the Olympics actually represent. And it's not the competitive side of it. It's the honoring of the journey traveled, of the dedication, of the accepting that it's not going to be easy, that it will require practice, it will require conditioning, it will require resilience, but that it will be worth it. And to remember that people who compete in the Olympics, the people who make it to the Olympics, first of all, they get that initial encouragement because you've got to qualify. You've got to qualify. And qualifying means, oh my God, I can touch it. I feel like I can touch it. And so you go in. But let me tell you, anyone who puts themselves up there, they believe they're going to win. They believe they're going to make it. They believe it, and in the best time, in the right time. And they don't know the timing that is required. They don't know that timing, but they know they will make it. They know. And so, sending you all love and a reminder to soak this time up, because it's a time of hope, faith, and seeing your justice.